excuse me, I have so many moments in my mind, and I'm so filled with passion for this great victory to bring everyone together, Democrats and Republicans, that I thank Chair Valmarone for reminding me of a little brief fact here that is important. It's hardly little. I mentioned Congress, I mentioned State Senate, I mentioned the State Assembly, I mentioned, of course, the presidency. But I failed, and I apologize, to mention that when you go to the polls, you'll have an opportunity to cast a vote for an incredibly good and decent man, a man I know personally, and his name is Mike Sapricone. And Mike Sapricone is running for United States Senate. So you ask yourself this question, Democrats, Independents, whoever you are, when you go to vote for U.S. Senate, ask yourself, who's my senator? When have I seen my senator?
Never.
And the answer is, you know what? I'm voting for Mike Sapricone, who is the Republican and conservative candidate for U.S. Senate. Remember, this is about the future, not of us. It's about our children and grandchildren. And speaking of the future, we must speak about the past. So now, I'm about to introduce to you, I can't say enough about him, he knows that. To most of the world and to the people in Albany, they actually ask us, you mean he is actually your brother? And sometimes we tell them, yes, he is my brother. But here's something amazing. We have another person in a different way now, but here's something amazing. He's about to speak to you, Assemblyman Alec Brook-Krasny. But I want you to remember what America and freedom can do, because Assemblyman Alec Brook-Krasny came to us from a nation that no longer exists. My brother, please.
But Vito Labella is back. In order for us to have a Vito in the Senate, we need Vito in the Senate.
I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, just look around you. Look around you. It's going to be my 11th campaign. 11th campaign. I've never seen a room as diverse as this room right now, right here. We have people of common sense with so many different backgrounds in this room. And they all people of common sense. And that's what we need today. Some people might think that this world has been divided between Republicans and Democrats.
No.
Black and white. People of different religions, people of speaking different accents, divided by the borders. This world, right now, is divided by the builders and destroyers. When I'm talking to a room full of builders, I know I don't have to tell you what went wrong with this country. A lot of things. We can create a big list. But we all know that we have to return to common sense. When I'm looking at this room and the diversity of this room, I can tell you how grateful I am to my district leader, Svetlana Zelinskaya. She deserves a big round of applause. People who are getting us all together. This
and Mike Moran, Assemblyman. Mike
Moran. It's just not an easy job to do. I know that because I started by doing a job like this 24 years, actually 27 years ago. I know it's just not easy. We're all different. To get us together in one room, it's just extremely hard. So Svetlana, David, Mara, district leaders, thank you so very much. Now getting back to our issues and our problems, you know, my responsibility, like a responsibility of any assemblyman or senator, is divided in three different parts. First, of course, serving the individual needs of members of my constituents. Second is budgeting. Third is legislation. Today, my office, actually 2 offices, working very hard to support individual needs of any member of my constituents. They work very hard. But when it comes to budgeting or legislation, we don't have enough money. I have in my district, and this district is diverse, is people in this room. I have Brighton Beach, I have Coney Island community, I have Seagate, I have Bay Ridge and Dyke Heights. And when it comes to the needs of the different communities, we don't have enough money. I have 7 night shift developments at Coney Island. We need to repair every building of number of those buildings. We don't have money. We need a proper legislation, not pro-criminal legislation, but supporting the safety and security, supporting NYPD. We cannot do proper budgeting. We cannot do proper legislation because this state and this city was taken over by Marxists. And when we're talking about the Democratic Party these days, you still have people who otherwise, without Marxists in their party, would be a normal people. Thinking about the budgeting, thinking about proper legislation, they cannot think that way anymore. They're afraid of the Marxists, they're afraid of the primaries in the Democratic Party. They're afraid to lose the offices to those Marxists. And this is our big problem in this city and this state. But here in southern Brooklyn, we're building our own wall. Yes, we're building our wall against those socialists. And we have more and more. And this year, God willing, inshallah, as a Hashem, we're going to have more people with common sense in the offices.
Yes.
Because of you. It's just...
Yes.
It's so extremely important, not only for ourselves, for our kids, because so many things are going in a very wrong direction. And when it comes to budgeting or legislation now these days, why we don't have money for Coney Island night shift developments? Why we don't have money for Brighton Boardwalk? Why we don't have money for the needs of people in Bay Ridge and Dyke Heights? Because we have huge number of migrants coming to this city and getting just a free ride on everything. And the number that government is spending on those people is absolutely enormous. I forgot how many billions already. Ari Kagan is saying 7. We can trust Ari Kagan. I came to this country in 1989. I spent 11 months in Italy. I agree, it's not the worst country to spend 11 months in. But I've been waiting for the decision of the American consulate to let me in outside of the United States. Right? And they've been checking my health every 3 months. They've been checking my background every 2 months. So the federal government knew what to do with me in 1988, 1989.
Yes.
Now they don't know what to do with these migrants. It's a BS. They know what to do with them. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. They don't remember. People are talking about immigration reform. Forget about reform. Let's get back to the policies of 1980s, 1970s, and we're going to be fine. Let those people wait someplace else instead of coming here and paying God knows how much money to the owners of those hotels. God bless them, they're making millions. Why is all of this happening? None of you, none of us in this room would have a logical explanation for that.
I would.
They want the votes, right? Yes. Why?
Thank you.
Why they want to vote? Because those Marxists, they're losing on every issue today. Why do you think they are attacking us personally? Why? Because they don't have any issue they're winning on. Not on education, not on safety, not on borders, not on immigration. They don't have any issue they're winning. Any issue they're losing on. That's why there is always a personal attacks. I'm not a stranger to those personal attacks, by the way. But on the top of the ticket, we have a very strong man. I don't know how he's doing it, how he's still fighting, fight, but he's fighting. And let me tell you something, because I'm speaking to a lot of people on the streets. If you don't know or you don't like his hairstyle, let me tell you something. You just go on the internet and you find National Archive of White House. And you go to the section of Trump administration accomplishments. You will see 52 pages of accomplishments. 52 pages. Why media is not talking about it? Because they all leftists. They all leftists. I hope we can still trust Fox. We have Newsmax, which we can trust. Can we trust Fox News? Why I'm mentioning it? You know, like 20 years ago, just another 15, 20 seconds. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I was the Russian Jewish talking character. I've been invited to basically every event all over the city because I was alone at that time. I was invited to the Columbia University School of Journalism. It was 22 years ago. School of Journalism, room filled by the graduates or people who are about to be graduated from Columbia School of Journalism. And they wanted me to talk about Soviet Union. They wanted me to talk about socialism. I would expect to have people who understand how bad socialism is. 22 years ago, I'm telling you. But you know what? I realized that quite a few of them, if not a majority of them, somehow, somewhere, like Marxism and socialism. That's a Columbia School of Journalism 22 years ago. At that time, they were graduates of that school. Now, they're running all media sources. Everything that you're watching, everything that you're reading, now in their hands. That's what's going on. I know we have a lot of speakers. I know.
Assemblyman, thank you.
I just,
Thank you.
just want something on a very practical note. When I'm working around door to door speaking to the people, I realized how many common sense people are not registered today. We have to pay a big attention to that. I think we have to get divided by the teams, and we have to register people with the common sense. And they want to vote. Because that's going to be the most effective way to get people with common sense to the polls. Some of them wouldn't even know that they have to be registered before they can vote. So this is something that I wanted to tell all of you, and first of course to Svetlana and David, to Richie, to Fran, to Mari, to Marka, to Vita, to all the people who just doing what we all need to do now. We have to get back. We have to get this city back. We have to get this state back. We have to get this country back. Yes. And it's going to be a hard work within the next few weeks till November 5th. But we got to do it. And I see people in this room, I know you're ready to do it. Thank you all very much.